has kidney damage. I mean, yeah, the kidneys can start breaking down, but you can repair the kidneys pretty easy. So you want to go for health. Forget dialysis. That's just something you're using to keep the toxicity out of the blood. But let me tell you something. If you want to be stuck on that the rest of your life and end up with all the other problems and an early death, go ahead. But if you want to resurrect yourself out of this, Kelly, get your butt in gear and listen to your, is that your husband or something? Samuel, and get going, because you can save yourself and you pull yourself off of dialysis, especially when you start peeing good and you start filtering. Then you're done. You no problems. But that's your goal. To regenerate the kidneys, get your adrenals up. Adrenals are always down, and you notice how you crash after dialysis, dumps your blood pressure real low. Of course, it's a toxic experience, because that's the adrenals are involved in this, and of course, the adrenals control sodium and potassium, right? Also phosphorus, by the way. So this is something that you've got to go into your adrenals and your kidneys. There's where your problem is. The lymph system is just the effect that gets kicked from that. So don't be scared. Go after it. If you want to, we got a famous chef. He's working his way off of that. You can call him. So my question is, what would you recommend she do to raise her health in any way? Just what you're doing. Raw foods, fruits, berries, melons, maybe a salad a day. Kelly is suffering so much right now with fatigue. No kidding. Dizziness, okay? This is her lymph system's backed up. No amount of dialysis is going to affect that. It's just cleaning the blood. What about the sewer system that it's affecting? Of course it's not, they're not doing anything about that, because they can't. They can only acid strip the blood, clean the blood as much as possible, and that is a dangerous practice. That's why you want to pump something like our God's Blend, our superfood blend, right after you have a dialysis thing. You want to build that blood. You want to pump that God's Blend. We have a ton of people on dialysis that pump that. Depression, of course, and that's what I'm saying. Get up there and get that parathyroid up there. That's going to help you. Thoughts of suicide, oh, that's sad. The list goes on and on and on. Well, go after your health. Forget about dialysis. You're only using that modality, if you will, or that machine to clean your blood. You want to go after your health issues, and if you think your medical doctor knows what health is, then stay with them. But if you realize that they don't have a clue about health and chemistry, then I suggest you change your ways and learn how to get healthy. All these people on this YouTube channel can help you with that. And pull yourself up and get out of there, sweetheart, because you're you know, they don't have anything for you. They don't know anything about health. They don't have anything for you. They're trying to help you with the with cleaning your blood, but that's all they know. So you have to take your own health in your own hands, knowledge up, and go after this, because it's your body. And if you don't want to do that and you sit there and suffer, you're just going to sit there and suffer. But if you don't like suffering, and do something about it. And that's what this channel is, to help you all do something about your problems. That's all I'm saying here. You know, we got to quit being the leaves blowing in the wind. We must become that which is, the power of consciousness, of awareness, and start changing things. Everybody's just going down this same old line, you know. Or is a transplant her only option? Yeah, that's no option. And there could be absolutely nothing wrong per se with those kidneys. This is Dano. Hey, man. Hang in there. Thanks a bunch to see the desire-free state is really helped my eye. I know, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Well, man, you're doing really good, Dano. You really are. You're a great soul there, man. Sorry you're going back and forth with all that. You know, that's your adrenals. Everything's cleaning out of you. You're growing spiritually, leaps and bounds. All of you are really growing tremendously. Incredible, Kelly. You're growing incredibly well. You're all doing well. I'm just really proud of you, you know. Yeah, I mean, you can have crying during detox. This emotional release in detox, yeah, you know what, not a lot of fun. But, you know, you'll get on the other side of that. You got a good channel here, Dano, to be involved with. You got a great bunch of friends here, and so you'll make it through this, and you'll be good. I'm always here for you, man. And you're not going anywhere. You get those adrenals cleaned out, and you're going to have that smile on your face and hair on your head. This is more down. Let's see. Some more fuzz on the top of the dome. Yeah, you're going to get it, man. They got good looking. Oh, and I'm 6'6". 6'6", pituitary, and get a lot of double takes when I get out of my car. Yeah, man, lots of love to you too, man. And listen, but that's your pituitary. This is Presen, Presen. This is what is the best diet for children who are throwing up and having diarrhea. Well, you know, get them on a fruit diet. Get them away from these foods they can't tolerate, particularly anything with fats and proteins and stuff like this. You know, this, again, going back to this protein myth, the strongest animals on the planet do not eat protein. I don't know. Maybe they're eating wrong and the humans are the only ones that have the answers. Nah, if that was the case, they would be the ones suffering, not the humans. They have it right. We're the ones that have it wrong. So your kids, definitely, if you want to regenerate or bring up their brain and nervous system function, you got to have the fruits and berries. That's really key for man's nervous system and brain function. Fatty acids are good, so there's plenty of avocados and things available like that, coconuts and stuff, but that's where you want to keep them. And I'd detoxify your children, and especially the ones throwing up there. Clean out that liver and gallbladder of theirs. Get their kidneys and their lymph and their adrenals and their lymph working good. And that's the way I would go down with the kids. But really take care of these kids. Or you could do like Tamra. You could have your kids go to a surgeon and they could tie their stomach around their esophagus so they couldn't throw up. That's the same medical doctors some of you guys are scared to leave. Let's see, my kids don't like the taste of your herbs. Oh, tell them it's all in their head. How can I get these herbs in my kids? Well, I found grape juice is probably the one juice that hides it the best. I've tried apple, orange, and everything else just to do the taste tests, and we all find that the grape is probably the best. Of course, we use applesauce when you're talking about capsules and stuff like that, so you can work with those things. You can, put them in fruit juice or anything like that, definitely, something like that. But grape is truly the best. I've tried orange and apple, and it's like, no, grape is really the best. Girl Gone Vegan, Kelly. I like that name. My son saw the truck Girls Gone Wild, well, never mind. That was one thing we did not talk about during our conversation. Can you address this? Yeast overgrowth takes place with too much sugar, even natural sugars such as fruit. Well, you just made a statement that's not true. And this is from your understanding. Well, this is from other people's untrue statements. You have to understand what yeast and fungus are, and we've talked about this to great length. That this is a species that's involved in fermentation. We have to have the atoms. This is a created universe, darling. We cannot just say, well, I want to have a baby and bring another soul to this planet without something dying. You got to realize if you're going to create something, you have to use atoms to create. Whether it's atoms formed in a piece of wood, piece of metal, doesn't matter. But where do we get atoms when everybody's using them all? They're all being used. There's no atoms hanging around doing nothing. We've got to break something down. Something has to give up their atoms. So this is why you have this constant movement of birth, life, and death here. It's just a natural, central part of creation. So it's not something you have to fear, but you have to understand that fungus is involved in fermentation. I've said this before, put a handful of grapes on your kitchen counter, put a piece of cheese and a piece of bread. Which one of those three food sources are going to grow mold on them first? Correct. Not grapes. Grapes will not grow mold on them until when? They start to ferment. That's the fermentation process. Those grapes have to die. Can't just have them around forever. They have to die. And so we need those atoms for something else. The cheese and the bread is already dying. These are already fermented foods. So you're going to see fungus super grow on these foods because it's part of the fermentation process. So don't fear these guys. Use an antifungal parasitic like Parasite M or, Walnut Hall, whatever. But kill the fungus in there. But if you're having sugar metabolism problems, then you have to fix your adrenal glands. You cannot starve your body for sugar. You cannot do, as Brian has said, stop from the Hippocrates, you cannot stop fruit because it has sugar in it and eat vegetables because vegetables have sugar in it. Those both are carbon foods. They're both sugar foods. So you can't sit there and say a simple sugar or fruit sugar feeds candida or cancer and vegetable sugar doesn't. That's stupid. But fruit sugar is a much more active and powerful sugar than glucose. And our species does well on it, same with primates. But again, if you're trying to kill a cancer cell by starving it, you just don't understand what's going on with cancer. And you're not trying to starve a cancer cell, you'll starve all the rest of your cells. That whatever you do to one cell, you're going to do to all of them. And that's what the medical doctor doesn't seem to get. I know they get it. They just don't care. They like money better or something, because if you're doing it, when you have a problem and you know that your body is exclusively made up of cells, and the two fluids there to help the health of them, but the buck stops at the cell, and you're doing something to kill your cells, that's a no-brainer. And so why would you take a therapy or take an herb or take a pharmaceutical or a supplement that would kill cells? I can't imagine that. I can't imagine who has their brain turned on upside down. I mean, that's just insanity. It's just insanity. It's running wild, and it's got to stop. That's all there is to it. No more. To draw some lines here. So you've got to get over that, Kelly. Drop that idea of yeast. You've asked this several times. Understand, this is just a fact. Go deeper. And that deeper is your adrenal glands. This is the adrenals and kidneys. This is why you're so involved. This is why you have mediated hypo or hypertension. That's why you have all these things. Keep it simple, sweetheart, and you'll be able to find remedy. If not, you're going to be continuing to ask these ridiculous questions that we've answered over and over again, and that these people in these books keep writing these stupid things like this. And the more you read, the more confused you're going to get. So monitor what you're saying. I'm trying to give you an overview that you can use when you read other people's books so you don't get too confused, because there's a ton of people with opinions, and most of these people are not healers, and those that are not good at it. That's what if you want to look at that, look at the best healers on the planet and see what they have to say. Not people that have reputations from crap that doesn't exist. Sustainably green. I believe probably about 90% of what you say. You know, if I'm about 90% right, I feel good. You know, it's just common sense, sustainable green. It's all common sense. And it's all science.